verdict on that one today, please?
Yeah, it ends up a poor day for us. I think the margins in the first half were very small, between us producing a good performance and being in a good place at half time, with chances missed. Of course, the goals they scored, which from our point of view are poor goals, and of course the penalty decision, which I find really hard to understand. So I think the margins were very small between how we were going in at half time. They didn't go our way. We go in at half time at 2-0 down, and in the second half we weren't able to produce a response that was good enough against a strong and experienced Premier League side, but we weren't able to do enough to get ourselves back in the game.
Just on the penalties, I haven't seen it again. The replay machines were down for us today, but what's your view of it, and how was it communicated to you?
Yeah, my view of it was exactly as I saw at the time, and I find it, inexplicable really how it can be overruled. I don't see how it's inexplicable how you could debate the penalty. At the time, it looked like a penalty. It felt like a penalty. Of course, I'm saying that from an Ipswich lens, but Jack dribbles past a couple of players in the box. He's about to shoot. There's every chance it's a goal, and Dwight McNeil lunges across the line of the ball right when he's on his backswing. Of course, you can say then that Jack's foot is what strikes Dwight McNeil, but Dwight McNeil lunges across the line of the ball in the penalty area, which I don't think you can do as a defender. He hasn't touched the ball. He's not probably even made an attempt to play the ball. He stopped Jack taking his shot. So I think it's a penalty. I understand how it's one that you could possibly debate, but what I can't understand is how all the directives we've had and everything that I've experienced so far is that unless it's a clear and obvious error, then it won't be reviewed. The referee's decision on field will stand for a good reason, because the referee has the best view, and the referee can also feel the action at full speed. So I think it was, I think it's, a really poor decision for that to be identified as a clear and obvious error. I've spoke to Michael downstairs on it. We had a respectful conversation. To be honest, he saw it how I saw it. It's a debatable action. Both agreed that Dwight McNeil stepped across the line of the ball as Jack Clarke's about to shoot. And he agreed that it's a penalty. That I'll think it's a penalty. Sean probably won't think it's a penalty, but it's at least a debatable decision, so it doesn't fall in the category of clear and obvious. So I don't understand why it's been given, and I think it's disappointing. And I think everyone who knows me know I very rarely speak about referees. I don't want to speak much of the season talking about VAR. The one thing I am conscious for at the club is because I don't do it, it can't stand against the club, against other clubs and other teams who do speak about it a lot. So that's the only thing I'm conscious of at the moment, and I think we had a really poor one go against us today.
On the goals against today, great finishes, of course, but from your point of view, would you feel they're preventable ones? No,
of course they were. There were poor goals to concede. Of course, the first one's a mistake. The second goal on the set play is a poor goal to concede. We defended the first ball well. We didn't defend the second ball anywhere near well enough. And we know Everton are strong in those situations, and can't afford to give away goals like that and give yourself the chance to get the result that we want.
Sorry, I did say raise your hand. Mel, did you put your hand up? Oh, good. Sorry, on you go. Thank you.
Like you, from our position, thought it was a penalty, thought we should have stood. Do you think that the referees should stand by his decision? Because he's gone over to the screen, seen something that he didn't see the first time. It's like you say, it's very confusing, isn't it? Do you think that he needs to be stronger in that respect, and stand by the original decision to give the penalty?
That would be my perspective. I spoke to Michael about it downstairs, and his reflection was that it's very difficult to, when you're being hearing in your ear, okay, this is what we're seeing. Jack Clarke has struck the back of Dwight McNeil. When that's been fed into your ear, he said it's very difficult to go against that, but he still agreed that it was a debatable decision. So in that instance, for me, again, it's not something I've too much interest in talking about apart from protecting the club. I think it's one that he shouldn't be put in that decision by the VAR. I think he felt the right decision in the game from a good position at full speed, and there's nothing that I've seen, and I've watched a lot of replays and a lot of angles, that you could tell me that it's absolutely clear that it was the wrong decision.
Did Everton do anything to surprise you today, or was it a case of where they're strong and sometimes the ball bounces in the wrong way, you just can't deal with it?
No, they didn't do anything to surprise us. The first half was as we expected. I say, their strengths are pretty obvious. in the second half, I thought they performed well. They held on to the 2-0 well. They controlled the game well with the ball and showed their experience. They've got a real high level of individual quality, so when any other front four has the ball, you never feel fully safe. But no, there was no surprises today.
Do you feel if you could have got a goal back, it might have swung momentum your way? Obviously, having struggled to hold on to leads before the season.
Yeah, of course, at 2-0, yeah, you know, if you get the next goal, you've got a good chance, especially at home, and especially the history that we have in those situations. And we had some opportunities maybe in the last 15 minutes, especially, and if one of them goes in, we know we're set for a big finish. But I think over the course of it, the second half performance, I don't think we managed to do enough in terms of putting pressure on the opposition and dominating the game and really getting the crowd into the game to really say that we deserve to come back.
Phil.
Yeah, he has an injury after the West Ham game, so he's going to be out for a few weeks at least. Ben Johnson got an injury very late in the training week this week, so still assessing that one, but it's probably going to be a couple of weeks as well. Jacob's hamstring.
So obviously, Kieran Burgess comes, and you said yesterday, didn't you? It's very, very close to making it for a big debut. How did you feel at being Dolphy performed and Dara like that?
Yeah, I thought all three of them done okay. I thought the general defensive structure in the first half, that wasn't really the problem. It was just moments. Of course, two centre-halves are always going to have their hands full with Calvert-Lewin, and he had a few moments, but he's had them in every game this season. But I think, to be fair to Cameron, considering again he's coming in for his Premier League debut, he didn't arrive back from Japan until Thursday, and he's not played a club game for quite a while. I think he can be proud to make his Premier League debut. I thought he had a pretty solid performance, and he'll benefit, as the rest of the group will benefit from a full training week now.
It's going to come back down front.
Very early days still, and you've got 4 points on the board, but how do you avoid looking at that gap getting bigger? Is there a point where you have to worry about it, or is it still very...
We'll probably avoid looking at it is the best way. No, look, we want to have more points on the board than what we do. Of course, it's important to pick up points. If we have played 8 games, we've got a result in 4 of them. If 1 or 2 of those results had been wins, even if one of those had been win and we had the same points, the narrative would be a little bit different. But it is what it is. We can't focus on that. We know that there's things we need to improve on. We also feel that for spells of games, we're really in the game. I think today we were really in the game, and when we can impose our structure, our patterns, our organisation on teams on and off the ball, then our individual quality also comes to the fore, and we look like we can, be a competitive side in the division. But we've also felt that, games can get away from you quick in terms of momentum, and we're also feeling that the individual quality of the opposition players is really, really high, and much higher than most of our players have experienced before. And moments in games and moments of quality can cost you, and also mistakes can be punished really, really ruthlessly. And when the game gets away from you, it's really, really hard to wrestle it back. So yeah, the group are they're really, I have to say, it is really early days. We know it was a challenging summer. We didn't bring in a lot of the group didn't really come together until the end of August. Since then, we've had 4 weeks on international duty. We've had 1 home game here since August, so it's not been very easy to get a momentum and get into the season, especially when we're having some injuries and we're having to put debuts in every week and new players in different partnerships with players they haven't played with before. So there's no doubt that makes a challenge. I think it's a long season. There's spells in the season where we will have more consistency and continuity, hopefully. And for us, it's about trying to stick on the right path, keep doing the things that we're doing well, and be honest and open enough to reflect and try and improve the things we're not doing so well.
We're all good. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love the season.